Task number 12, scoping and targeting. Task number 12 is inside the burp suite, the basics room, which is part of the complete beginner path. Scope and targeting. Finally, we come, before we start reading, in the previous videos, I showed this a bit and I talked a bit more about them. So you can watch the previous videos or you can just stay here and let's go. Finally, we come to one of the most important aspects of using the burp suite, scoping. Capturing and logging all of the traffic can quickly become overwhelming and inconvenient, especially when we only want to focus on specific web applications. This is where scoping comes in. By setting a scope for the project, we can define what gets proxied and logged in burp suite. We can restrict burp suite to target only the specific web application or applications we want to test. The easiest way to do this is by switching to the Target tab, right-clicking on our target from the list on the left and selecting Add to Scope. Burp will then prompt us to choose whether we want to stop logging anything that is not in scope, and in most cases we want to select yes. So as you can see over here, we see an example which is from TryHackMe. So we open the proxy and we just pulled all the traffic in. Then we just added TryHackMe to the scope, right? Target scope. Let's do that. We use Firefox as a browser. From Foxy Proxy, we activate the burp. Then we jump inside burp. Proxy activated by default when you start the burp. That's it. Now we go back to Firefox, reload this, go back to this. Awesome. We forward our request, forward again, forward. Okay, cool. We go to target and then you see here the list will go, but we see TryHackMe. That's all that we want. Right click on it, add to scope. You have added in an item to target scope. Do you want burp proxy to stop sending out of scope items to the history of our burp tools? Answer yes. We'll avoid accumulating project data for out of scope term items. Yes, we want that. So we can see, as in the TryHackMe snapshot, target scope, we have TryHackMe. Amazing. To check out our scope, we can switch to the scope settings sub-tab within the target tab, which we just did. Target scope. The scope settings window allows us to control our target scope by including or excluding domain IPs, or IPs, which is basically the same. This section is powerful and worth spending time getting familiar with. However, even if we disable login for out-of-scope traffic, the proxy will still intercept everything. To prevent this, we need to go to the proxy settings sub-tab and select "and URL is in target scope" from our intercept client request section, right? So from the proxy, we jump in proxy settings. And here, as you can see, request interception rules and response interception rules. So we need to check both of them. Request interception rules use these settings to control which requests are stale for viewing and editing in the intercept tab. And response interception rules use these settings to control which responses are stale for viewing and editing in the interception tab. So we are good to go now, right? Enabling this option ensures that the proxy completely ignores any traffic that is not within the defined scope, resulting in a clearly traffic view in burp suite. Okay, we cancel that. We drop this. Actually, I will just interrupt. Open it again. Jump on Firefox. Reload this. And then let's go, let's say, for instance, over here. And we say learn. We jump again in burp suite community edizione. We go forward again. And now let's go to, forward. We go to HTTP history. you will see now that we capture in proxy HTTP history, we will capture only TryHackMe stuff, right? If you see, for instance, like here, Google is just APIs that are mandatory, right? If we go again to target, we can see the scope, we can go to sitemap. We still have, of course, these because we can just, we can delete every, let's say, every useless request that burp registered and just leave the scope one, right? And you can then further inspect its files. You can just add to scope, edit scope, remove, paste URL, or load scope, right? Issue definitions, we don't care now because we read about those in previous videos. So this is basically how you limit your traffic only to your scope. Answer the questions below. The added our IP to our scope and change the proxy settings, only intercept traffic to in-scope targets. See the difference between the amount of traffic getting caught by the proxy before and after limiting the scope. We basically done that. So yeah, see you in the next one.